I run a digital music service called OK Music, which is part of the OK Africa group. I've signed many people. We started 2 years ago, and I signed people whose music I liked. But now I've got to be honest, I'm tired of sending out $3 royalty statements. Because the people are not, the onus falls back on the artist to use their social media to, in an honest, clear, frank way, to talk about their aspirations, their challenges, as somebody rightly pointed out to me before, to obviously offer their music, offer any videos they have, to build a following, to nurture the gold that is their followers, the people that appreciate what they're doing. The manager's job is strategy, figuring out how things work and visualizing what has to take place when you're touring. So every detail is in place, every aspect of the thing has been thought through from day one to the end. And the budgets are not wishful thinking, because touring these days is extremely difficult. To go into the UK as an artist to get a work permit now costs £1,000 per person. I don't know what a symphony orchestra is going to do, or how they're going to cope with such things. I've got a almost 50-year love affair with Africa, and I consider myself to be among those who feel that Africa has a tremendous contribution to make in the world that we haven't perhaps seen yet. The message may be too simple. And in this room are all the people that helped to make that music. I wish you fortune. I pass you on to Blick Bassy.
Thank you, Rikki. I think for me, management is first understanding our area, understanding where we are living. Because when I'm looking what the struggle in our continent, in our countries, we can really see that we have, men of the country have, a lot of countries have one problem is we don't understand where we are coming from. We don't really understand where we are living. We don't understand our area. We don't understand our cities, our quarters, and then our cities, and then our country. And for me, managing the management is first about understanding where we are living. Because when you really know where you're living, you can see that, okay, even I don't have money, I have this. For me, it's like a GPS, GPS without any information can't go nowhere. So for me, management is really having a lot of information. Then if you start going somewhere, when you put the direction, in every step you're going to have information what could help you to go forward. And this has really helped me to build my career. When I was during 10 years with a beautiful band called ACCESS. Serge Maboma is somewhere here. And we built this project together. And after that, I moved from Cameroon to Paris, where I start again. And I decided to start from zero because I was in a space where no one was speaking my mother tongue. But also, the music business was completely different. So I decided to ask to myself that, how can I survive in this country doing this job? People don't understand what I'm saying when I'm singing, because I'm singing in my mother tongue. How can I connect to the other guys? How can I connect to people, being who am I, and trying to give just what I have in my bag? So one of the solutions was to understand first the business, understand what was publishing, what was license, what was booking agency, how it works. And I start with this, understanding, just practicing every day, practicing my guitar, my vocal, but also trying to understand every step in the music. And this helped me a lot because 2 years after that, I chose, I think, 10 label, 10 publisher, 10 booking agency, and I was sending. First, I went to the roster and I was listening to every single artist who was signed in every label, in every agency, to understand why those guys was there, not me. And then everywhere I was working, I was shooting every poster, everything in the road to understand why those guys are booked in this festival, not me. Even it was completely different aesthetic. Even it was electronic music, and I wanted to understand why those guys are booked there, not me. And then I took the email address from all the agency, label, promoters, who maybe could be interested by what I was doing. So every time when I had a show, I was sending emails. And one day, one of the label I was looking for, living in Holland, Netherlands, write to me that, hey, I would like to come to see your stuff. And they came to the show in Paris, in the small club where I was performing. And after the show, they decided to sign me. And this was through internet, because we have wonderful tools today. Internet is just something, it's magic, because we can really do everything. So for me, being a manager is first to understand where we're living, but also, as when we are talking about manager, we're talking about managing someone, managing the artist. So for me, it's important for an artist first, before he's trying to start to look for a manager, to understand himself that he's a project. Because being an artist who is ready, gonna help networking between his manager, who is a partner. A manager for me is not my father or my mother. He's not there to carry everything I have to do by myself. He's a partner who is there to really build something with me. But for this, as partner, I also have to do my job as musician partner, because if I'm thinking that, okay, as I have a manager now, I don't have to do anything. The manager will carry on with everything. He'll do everything. He'll do magic, and then my project will be on top. No, the manager is managing what I'm bringing. So if I'm bringing shit, he will manage the shit. Yeah, so that's why it's important, because a lot of artists are thinking that, oh, okay, man, I'm so good. I have some young artists who are calling me that, man, I'm so good, but I just need a manager. I say, man, if you are really good, you will find a manager. And manager will find you, because everything is, actually in internet, everything is looking for wonderful artists. Artists are looking for wonderful manager. So if you're really good, they will find you. Don't worry about this. So this is, for me, being a manager is really a partnership, a real partnership between artists and someone who will help artists to really build his career. During my 20 years of career, I never got a manager. I just signed actually with a manager, because in this step, I say, okay, now I want someone who will carry on with my business, because I'm running a lot of business. Beside of being an artist, I have a label in Cameroon. I have producing a lot of artists there. I'm running a festival. I'm running an event where I'm putting on the line, I'm trying to put in the light some artist DIY. So doing all this, I think I need a strong partner who understands who am I, where I want to go, how I'm doing things, who is, I'm the CEO of my startup. So I want someone who will be working with me. So being a CEO of a startup is that, man, you have to build your career that in 20 years, actually, the kid who has 5 years, in 20 years will have 25 years. And then there will be some musician. How could I survive? In 20 years, doing as musician, how will I get money? So I have to understand, I have to plan everything. I'm thinking about all this today. That's how can I build my stuff. And so I'm watching around me who could be a great partner with me. I want to do some partnership with who, but if I want to decide to choose the good partnership, I have to understand how it works. Because choosing maybe could sound like it's simple, but it's not simple. Choosing the good producer, choosing the good sound engineer, choosing a good label, a good publisher. Man, if you don't know how it works, you're going to think that this one is really good one, but as you don't know, you will just choose like this. So it's really important for artists, in my view, to have to have basics. I'm not telling that every artist has to understand every business, but the basics of how things are working. Because if not, it's complicated to bring. If you think that the manager is the one who's going to save you, no. The manager also, sometimes he has also his life, and you're not bringing money, and this guy has to work hard for you, man.
A lot of time, if the artist succeeds, it's because they were genius, and if they fail, it's because they had a shit manager. So, that situation doesn't work, does it? That's why partnership is important.
Yeah, and I tried also to. All the project I'm doing beside my career, it also to understand how it works, because when you don't run any project, you don't really understand how things could be hard. Running a label, being a manager for some other artists, running some festival, helped me in my career. When I'm coming back in what I'm doing, I have more idea. And also for me, being a manager is being disrupt. Someone who's thinking, start thinking differently in the way normally he has to think. Because what I'm trying to do when I have a problem in my career, I'm also asking to myself, how can I solve it without money? How can I find solution without money? So I have to be creative. With internet today, there are a lot of possibilities. How can I find the way to manage this without having money? Because everyone could say that, yes, I have a lot of beautiful projects, but I need money. Yeah, but try to start doing this without money. If you really have a beautiful project, money will come after. So doing everything I'm doing beside my career, it also to understand, this is helping me to understand the space where I'm living. And understanding the space where I'm living really helped me to build my project.
And also, you're socially conscious. So you're using the social media in a socially conscious manner. I got to be honest, my baby left me and all that shit. Come on, enough now. There are things to talk about. There are things to discuss. There are issues to raise. There are challenges that we confronted with, that an artist is in a position to bring to people's attention.
Yeah, and I think everything you're running, you have OK Africa, all those projects. Also, as manager, help also to make some links with other people, other business, and then when you have to manage an artist after that, you already have built a network. So I think for a manager also is important, to start building different projects, because when you're doing this, you're meeting different people, and these people you're meeting are really helping you to build a network what will serve you later for your artist. This is also what I'm trying to do, and all this really helped me to understand how the business is working, but also it's helped me to create a network. And after that, when I'm coming with my project, I already have a network built by some other project, Yeah.
Some of the most successful bands in the world, their manager is another finger on the same hand, But the situation has changed. The onus now is not on the manager. The onus is on the artist. Why? Because the artist now has access to a tool, which is social media. Every time you meet somebody, get their email address, put it in your database. The bigger it gets, the better off you're going to be. It's very important.
How do we, as the upbringing managers, the ones who are building the brands, how do we secure ourselves for the future, that our band is not, ditching us or jumping to the next label?
There's nothing wrong with having a contract. I never had a contract with Fela, and we worked together for 15 years. He's been gone for 21 years now, and he's still keeping me busy. But sometimes it's necessary. People say you shouldn't work with friends. I'll be honest, I only want to work with friends, Why? Because, you can say more or less anything to your friend, right? More or less. People will come to me and say, "Oh, Fela, it must be very difficult." I say, no, because he was my friend. And I met Fela and we became immediate friends. I can't explain what happened, but that's what happened. And my working relationship, I had no thought of management when I met Fela. My working relationship grew out of the friendship. So I would recommend being friends with your manager. I would recommend to the manager being friends with your artist. If you ain't, dodgy territory. Those ones there, you need a contract.
Mine goes to your advice to the artists. How many, linking to economics, like how many tracks, how many albums would you have for you to start engaging a manager? Because we have like person with one track, you have a manager, you have a bodyguard, you have a makeup artist, you have somebody, and you end up just like, there is nothing in return. What is your advice to the artist? Thank you very much.
We can only sign people with a minimum of 5,000 followers. That's to say, across the social media. Because we've got to get off with a fighting chance, And again, those are the ones that work. In the case of Fela, I've got 50 plus albums to deal with. In the case of upcoming artists, they might only have one track, but if it's a good track, it'll take them forward. But they've got to have, before they come to us, a minimum of 5,000 people. 5,000 people, man. I don't know, this place holds probably 1,000. Imagine 5 times that a number of people that like or are interested in what this artist is doing. That's enough people to get something moving. And if you're posting stuff constantly, they will say, "Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, the guy's telling me about something here that's interesting." And the next thing you know, that 5,000 is 10,000, and then it's 20,000.
To those managers who will come in the name of business to an artist, can you please tell us more about their limits and your limit, you as an artist, and their limits as a manager? Thank you.
If your manager don't understand that you have to build a project, because sometimes you can be a beautiful, wonderful singer, beautiful instrument, beautiful, with huge technique. But if you don't have a project, you don't have. You can find, the best manager in the world. You won't build a career. Maybe you will make 1, 2, 3 songs, but you won't build something strong. So building something strong, it depends of the project. If you really have a project, and so it's really important for artists first to, we have to be really hard for ourselves, because it's not about the manager, it's about our life. I want to do this job until I'm 100 years old. So if I want to do this, man, I have to be really hard with myself.
I see what I do as being an integral part of the music. If you see it that way, I see it that way. Let's recognize what we have. I'm not talking about mineral resources. Mineral resources are ephemeral. One day there ain't none left. But culture is a living, breathing, ever-evolving entity that we ignore at our peril. We have to unite. It's the only way forward now. We have to cooperate with each other. We have to learn to help, to share with each other. Somebody that would be good in touch with somebody else. Put them in touch. Don't wait for 10%, man. Put them in touch with each other. Somebody will do the same for you. We have to help each other to go forward. Otherwise, we will not succeed.